Welcome guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jish, and in this episode we turn our attention towards the seat. In this episode we turn this into this. So before we get started, let's mask off the frame to keep the finish protected while we work. For the seat base, we'll be using an aluminium composite. It's lightweight, easy to work with, it can be stapled, it can be riveted, and I'll leave a link down below as to where you can buy some. Next up is to drill some holes so we can mount the base. We're going to be using rubber well nuts because they work so well in this sort of thing. Now the base is done, it's time to bond the foam. Spray adhesive is the way forward with doing this job. So, let it cure overnight, and then it's time to finish the underside. So, we're at the point now where we need to start trimming the foam. We've got the rubber well nuts pressed back in place. We've got the black base to keep it all nice and clean, because obviously when you look at it from the other side, I want it to be nice and clean, not white. It just makes it all around a bit nicer for when the trim is done. But yeah, we need to start getting rid of all this excess foam. As you can see, I've put this extension piece here on this front, but that's going to be okay because actually that's going to be tucked underneath the tank, and it's going to sit just under here. So I'm not too worried about it being a different foam, but that's okay. It's just to keep the continuity along here. I am trying my absolute hardest to make this the best it can be, to make it look OEM, to make it look like it came from factory, just to make sure the quality is there. So making it all black, things like that make all the difference. So hopefully you can appreciate the work going into this. So before we start getting the foam trimmed, I'd like to talk about today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community where millions come together to take the next step in their creative journey. With thousands of inspiring courses for curious and creative people. From illustration, graphic design, videography, even general mechanics, it's all there.
And right now I'm taking one of Ali Abdul's classes to help me get better at video editing with Final Cut Pro.
And these Skillshare classes are made by real people offering real ways of learning. And right now, the first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link down below will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare for you to try out. So thank you Skillshare for sponsoring this video. I really appreciate it. I could not do this without you guys. Now let's get back to the build and get this bike finished. I am loving the way this is looking, especially with this grab rail. It just fits the style that I'm looking for, just nice, real sleek. Don't get me wrong, it's not going to be the most comfortable because it's so thin, but it should be comfortable enough. So we have worked all the lines that we need. We've got everything in the foam pretty much bang on. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a very simple shape, a very simple seat, full stop. But where it's going to get really interesting is actually in the stitch. Now that's what we're going to be moving on to next. We're going to actually start planning out how we actually want this to look with all the stitch work, with the paneling, to make it look super cool, super retro, and just work really well with this bike. So what I propose we do, other than get this clean, is we are going to cover the entire thing in masking tape and actually do a drawn out line work of what we want, so we can actually like see the lines physically on the bike before we put it on paper and get that sent off to the upholsterers. It should be fairly easy to do. Don't get me wrong, this is a very simple, easy seat, being dead flat, but I'm looking forward to it. Let's see what we can create.
Firstly, we'll go with the pencil, just in case we want to change our mind, and then we'll move to pen for a more permanent finish.
So that is all the line work done, and you can get an idea of what I'm trying to go for with this seat. I'm wanting it double stitched here to make it look like this, how I've got on the XJ650. I really dig this look. I'm also going to go with the perforated leather and the regular leather, just like this, but we're going perforated leather, side leather pieces here and extra pieces here just for durability, because this is obviously where the tank is, and obviously this bit on the back is going to be getting lots of wear and tear because of the grab handle, because of all the luggage stuff we might attach on later on, all that kind of good stuff. But overall, I'm really liking the lines. It's very simple, but I'm hoping all the definition should come out in this pattern and just make it look real smart. So all we've got to do now is drop it off at the upholsterers. I'm going to try and get them to do some filming, because it's such a cool process to see all this come to life, especially when we've got this far in it and how we've got this involved in how we want it all to look, obviously. But as it stands right now, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this goes. I really like the style of this, and I really cannot wait to see it in its final form.
Sadly, they didn't let me film, but after a short wait, this is what they came back to me with.
I am so happy with how this turned out. It's very simple design, but I mean, even just adding this little bit of a curve here just finishes it off nicely. And going with this semi-perf leather, which obviously is waterproof, don't worry, it's not going to soak up any water. And obviously this fake leather here, it all just ties in just nicely. And with having this little bit of double stitch, it just gives it a real nice bit of depth. The upholsterers have done an incredible job on this. It only took them less than a week to do as well, so big up to them. I'll leave all their information down below. And I do find it really nuts that this bit of aluminium composite has turned into what you see here. I know I say this all the time, but I'm so happy with how this is turning out. We are one step closer to getting this bike ready. Obviously, we've still got the engine to go in. We're just waiting for the brackets to come back for powder coating, and then that's going in. So next episode, expect the engine to be fitted. So let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear your feedback. Let me know if there's any questions you'd like to ask, or if there's any bits of information you'd like to know. Get at me, we'll sort this out. Thank you again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Thank you to my patrons for making this happen. I feel truly lucky to have you guys watching my videos and supporting me and what I do. So thank you very much, and I shall see you in the next video. Shout out to all my Patreons out there. Thank you for supporting. It really helps the channel grow.